like we will go ahead and we will start with ABAP dictionary objects. And under the ABAP dictionary objects, we'll be covering the topics like custom tables, custom data element, custom domains, how to create custom data elements, how to create custom domains, how to create a custom table, and how to create a structure, how to add new fields, new custom fields to the already existing master table. So we'll be discussing all these things in this concept. Generally, we'll be having so much of, many times we'll be having the requirement like the client, they want to add some new fields to the already existing standard table. Like for example, previously I have worked in an infrastructure project. So that client is into real estate, they build apartments, houses, villas, they lay roads, so they are into construction business. So their requirement is like whenever they sell an apartment, they can sell up to 3 car parking lots. So they want to add some new fields. So in their business, whenever they sell an apartment, that means a sales order will be created. So the sales order will be created whenever they sell an apartment or a house. So in the sales order master table, like for example VBAK, right? In the master table VBAK, they want us to add some new fields like lot 1, lot 2, lot 3, like park, you know, car parking lot 1, car parking lot 2, and lot 3. And whenever they sell an apartment, they also want to store the parking lot numbers along with that sales order. So whatever the lots that have been allocated to that particular apartment, they also want those values to be maintained in the standard table. So that is the reason they want to have 3 new fields to the VBAK master table. So this type of requirement we'll be having many times. The client will be asking, I want to add some new fields in this existing standard table. So as you might be aware of, in ABAP also we'll be dealing with so many T codes or transaction codes. For each and every area we have different T codes. So T code for creating a for ABAP dictionary objects is S11. S11 is the T code for the ABAP dictionary objects, and this is the initial screen of ABAP dictionary objects. So here we are looking at the database tables, views, data types, right, domains, log objects. So we'll be discussing all these things here in this section.
Okay.
So before we try to discuss this, are you aware of a package?
I am aware, theoretically, yes, but maybe you can show it out, yeah. Because
Okay.
whenever you have to make a changes, it will be, you have to create a package and all the changes are captured over there.
Yeah, actually package is nothing but a folder. Like in our normal computer, like we'll be creating different folders. Like we want, you know, like we will create a separate folder for our tax related files. We create separate folder for our, you know, for our personal files, pictures, and all those things. We'll create separate folder. So we'll create another folder for our, you know, for our resumes and all those things. So like that, we'll be creating separate folders. Similarly, in SAP projects also, depending upon that particular project, we'll, you know, let's say for example, it all depends upon the client business requirements. What are all the modules that have to be implemented for that particular project? So depending upon that, there will be different modules are implemented, and for each and every module, we have to create a package. So, like for example, all the SD related objects will be stored under the SD package. MM related objects will be stored under the MM package. Like that, we'll create different packages. And package is nothing but a folder. So we create different packages, and that particular modules related objects will be stored under that particular package. So let's go ahead and let's try to create a package for our training class, so that whatever we create, whatever we discuss, we will store all of them in that particular package. And I think you will also have access to the same server, so it will be easy for you to go ahead and refer to that package. So T code for creating a package. So first let's go ahead and let's try to create a package. And in projects, we get to create packages at the, if it is an implementation projects, we get to create package at the very beginning of the project, right?
Okay.
So for the past 4 years, I have been working in implementation projects. So at the very beginning of the project, just before we start off our developments, then we create the packages for different modules. So T code for creating a package is SE93. SE93 is the T code for creating a package, and this is the initial screen of creating a package. And whenever we are trying to create any custom development in ABAP, we have to start either with a Y or Z. That is the naming convention we have to follow. So the first letter of the, the first alphabet of the name has to begin with a Y or a Z. All the other alphabets have been reserved for the SAP company. Only they can create objects starting with the other alphabets. So whenever we look at a particular object, and if it starts with a Y or Z, then we can immediately relate that it is a custom development. So let's go ahead and let us start with the Z. And then again, when we are trying to name our custom developments, we have to follow that particular client's naming standards and coding conventions, right? So again, it all depends from project to project and from client to client. So whatever the conventions, whatever the naming conventions they are following, we just have to go ahead and we have to follow that particular client's naming standards. So like for example, in my current project, they have this naming convention, like all the custom developments they want to start with only Y, right? And then currently we are implementing for Japan. So so the country, right, whatever is the country, actually it is a rollout implementation project. So first we have Japan, and then we'll be we'll be developing for UK, Canada, like that. 7 to 8 countries are there. So we just completed for Japan, and we have just started for the UK, right? So whatever is the country, so that country key, right? So if it is for UK, the UK development, so we give UK, right? If it is US, like that, the country key. And then if it is for SD module, then they want to give it as that module name, right? If it is SD, MM, like that. And then 001. So this is the convention they want to follow.
Okay.
So like that, we just have to follow the particular client's, naming conventions. So let's go ahead and let us name our package as Z Ashok. We'll use your name so that it will be easy for us to refer to. So our, actually, T code for creating a package is SE21, right? SE21.
Yeah.
So the SE93 is for displaying the T code, transaction code, standard T code or custom T code, right? So T code for creating a package is SE21. So let us go ahead and name our package. So give the name of the package, and then go ahead, and there is this create button here. So go ahead and try to create this package. So it is asking for a short description. So give some meaningful description here. And then here software component, if you observe, by default it is selected, it has been selected as home, right? So that will be populated automatically. We don't have to do anything. If you go ahead and if you open this pop-up here, for all the custom developments, home will be selected by default. So here. So that will be selected automatically. We don't have to do anything for that. So home is selected, and the package type. So package type, it is called whatever the package we are creating, we can name that as the development package, because we are going to store all our developments in that particular package. We can call it as a development package, and this also will be selected automatically. We don't have to do anything. So the only thing we have to provide here is the description, short description for this particular package. So this is the only thing we have to provide here in the screen. So continue.
So when do we use other two types of package types?
Whenever we create a custom package, we always go with the development package only. And there is the other option called main package. So main package, there will be some standard packages also. SAP creates some standard packages. So those packages will be considered as the main packages. Whatever the standard package that the SAP creates, they are considered to be the main packages. So when SAP creates the packages, that main package will be selected. So whenever we create a custom package, so we generally categorize it as the development package.
Okay.
So here if you observe, the system, this is called the workbench request number. So each of our objects have to be identified. They have to be identified by a unique identification number. So that unique identification number is nothing but the workbench request number. So the system automatically generates this, but what the system does is like it will give the previously generated workbench request number. So here if you observe, the short description is database view. So that means whatever the workbench request number that has been generated before, that will be popped automatically. So like we don't have to go whatever the system suggests, we don't have to go with that workbench request number. We can go ahead and we can create our own request. So there is this create request button here, the third one. So select that, and this is for our package for training class. So that description you want to go. So package for training class. Okay, gives a description, right? So this is the description we want to have for this particular package.
So will it ask developer key as well, or?
If it asks, then the training people has provided the developer key. We can give that. Generally, it doesn't ask, but in case if it asks, in projects also the the developer access key will be provided to us. So in case if it asks, then we can. So if you observe here, the workbench request has been changed now. It has populated a different workbench request number. And here if you see, it is showing the description that we have provided. So that means we are fine now. So go ahead and continue here. Continue. So this is our package. Z Ashok is our package name. And if you observe, it is in the saved mode here. And short description is training package for Ashok. So whatever the description we have given, that has been populated here. And person responsible, I have logged in as ECC user 23. So it's showing my user ID, created by my user ID, created on today's date, right? Last changed by my user ID, and last changed on the time, right? Date and time, date. So that means we have successfully created the package. So let's go ahead and yeah, any concerns still here?
No. Please carry on.
Okay. So so now let's go back to the ABAP dictionary object screen. So S11 is the T code for our ABAP dictionary objects. So there are so many standard tables that have been already created by SAP. Like for example, for each and every module. Like if you give in Google, you get like standard tables in SD module. You get all the standard tables that are there in the SD module, right?
Yeah.
Like that, for each and every module, you can see all the standard tables that have been created by the SAP. So let's go ahead and let's try to display a standard table T001. So T001 is the standard table for companies related information. Let's go ahead and try to display the standard table T001. So this is a standard table, and this standard table has been created by SAP. And if you observe, it is in the active mode here. That means it is ready to be used, right? And the first column here are called the field names. So these are the field names here. And if you observe, all of them are in, you know, they are in Germany. Yeah, all of these are German words.
Okay.
Like mandate is the client number. Bookers is company code, BUTXT, name of the company, what is 01 is city, land 1 is country, right? Waivers is currency, like that. All of these are the German words. Because we don't know Germany, like they'll be, you know, they don't make much meaning to us. But if somebody knows Germany, they would be able to relate to these words. You know, they could relate to these words. Like I think last year I had a student, and she is a German lady. So she used to relate to these field names very well. Like Bookers means, yeah, it's that means it's a company. So it's easy for them because they know German, right? But because we don't know Germany, they don't really make much sense for us. But we don't have to worry. What we will do generally, we do is like we go ahead and we try to look at their short descriptions here, and which are in English. So we can relate to these field names by looking at these short descriptions here, right? So Bookers is company code, BUTXT is name of the company, like that. So the second column is called the key. So it is called the main key or the primary key here. And if you observe Bookers and mandate, both of them are selected as the main key or the primary key. So that means these two fields, they maintain unique values, and you know, so Bookers company code will always be unique, right? Like for example, bank account number. So bank account number will always be a unique number. No two persons will have the same bank account number. Or you know, employees in a company. No two employees will have the same employee number, right?
Yeah.
Or no two people will have the same social security number. So like that, all those fields are, you know, they maintain unique values, and those fields are called the main keys or the primary keys. So here mandate and Bookers, these two have been selected as the main key or the primary key. And the next column is the initial values. That means again, mandate and Bookers, those two are selected as the initial values. That means they do not, you know, they do not accept zeros as their values. There has to be some value other than 0. So mandate and Bookers, they do not accept 0 or blank space as their value. So that is the meaning of the initial value here. And the next column is called the data element. So the attributes or the characteristics of these field names are stored in these data elements. Attributes are nothing but their characteristics. Characteristics means if you go ahead and try to double click on the data element there, so this is the data element, Bookers is the data element, and short description is company code, and this is the domain, right? So, and inside the domain, if you double click on the domain, you get to see the type of the data. So character is the type of the data, and number of characters is 4. So that is the length of the data. So, so under the domain, we have the type of the data plus length of the data. It's called the domain, right?
So for
and
each
if you
field,
go
we need
back,
to have a domain, separate domain, or how is it?
if a standard domain suits our requirement, we can go ahead and we can use the standard domain as it is. Let's say, for example, if the client says no, you know, we want to have a field, and you know, it should hold some unique numbers. So if the client says like, then we can ask the client like, do you want 4-digit number? Is 4-digit number fine? Because here type of the data is character and length is 4. But if the client says like, no, this unique number has to be a 5-digit number, then obviously we cannot use this domain.
Okay.
Right? So like that, if for any requirement, if a standard domain, that means type of the data and length of the data, if that suits, then we can go ahead and we can use any standard domain.
Okay. Okay. So, but at the same time, if you go back, right? If you go back one step to the fields, and we already have the data type, right, for each of these fields. Yeah, I'm trying to correlate, like what is the use of the domain? So even though we are giving a data type.
Actually, these are predefined, already predefined, right? So, like for example, here in this table, we are having some 81 fields. Total number of fields in this table are 81, right? So that means we are having 81 fields in this table. But in our requirement, let's say, for example, we only want to use some 5 fields from this table. So in that case, if, you know, performance-wise, it's not good to access all of this table, because this table is having 81 fields, and we are using only 5 fields out of that 81 fields. We are using only 5 fields. So the remaining 76 fields, we are not using them, but still we are accessing them.
Yeah.
So performance-wise, that is not good. So in that case, what we will do, we will go ahead and we will create a custom table with only those required 5 fields, and we will use that custom table instead of accessing the standard table with all these 76 fields that we are not using.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So in that scenario, we will go ahead and we will take the same field name. We can take the same field name and the same data element, and whatever the 5 fields we want, we can take those same 5 fields. But when we are creating a custom table, let's say for example, they want to have some 3 fields as standard fields and standard data element, but the other 3 fields they want to have as custom fields and custom data elements. So there can be a combination in a custom table. We can use some standard fields, and we can use some custom fields, and we can use combination of both of them, right? So it is depending upon the requirement, we can use them. Like
okay.
So does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does answer my question. Like, so, but you know, the view is the one like which serves the same purpose, isn't it? If you can create the view, like, so you can create a view on the specific like fields, right?
Yeah, we can create a view with specific fields, like same like you know, custom table only. You can also create a view, and you can also you know, take 5 fields from one table and the other 5 fields from a different table, and you can create a view.
Yeah.
But in a view, you cannot have custom fields. Only you can only have fields from standard tables. Already existing standard tables you can pick.
Okay.
And you can create a view. But in a view, you cannot have custom fields.
Okay.
Along with the standard fields.
Okay. Okay.
Only whatever the standard fields are there, only you can, prepare your own view out of those fields. Yeah. So view is different from custom table.
Okay. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, any other concerns?
No, for now, like, so maybe you will be covering those attributes and those things, right, later on, yeah.
So these are the attributes, like type of the data, length of the data, and short description of the data. So this is a generally asked interview in the interviews. They generally ask in the technical interviews what is domain and what is a data element. So domain is type of the data plus length of the data. So these two columns together is called a domain. Okay. So domain, that means these two columns plus short description is called a data element. So that means all these three together is called a data element. Okay. So this is a generally asked, frequently asked question in the technical interviews, and surprisingly many people will not say it properly.
Okay.
So so domain, so type of the data, length of the data, and short description of the data, all of them together make up this data element, and this data element is nothing but the attributes for these fields. So so these are the this is a standard table, right? So let's go ahead and let's try to create a custom table. So let's go to S11. S11 is the T code for creating a custom table. And whenever we are trying to create a custom table, also we have to follow the naming convention of that particular client or that particular project. Whatever is the naming convention they are following for creating tables, we just have to follow that particular client's naming standards. So let us name our let us try to have some customer related information here. So let us name our custom table as Z77. So this is our customer related details custom table. So we are naming it as the ZCust77. So let's go ahead and let's try to create this custom table. Create that. So this is our custom table. And ABAP is not case sensitive. You can use uppercase, you can use lowercase, or you can use mix. You can use both the combination of upper and lower cases also. So it's not case sensitive like many other programming languages.
Okay.
So delivery class. Whenever we are creating a custom table, so we have this option here called the delivery class, and if you go ahead and open this drop down menu here, so delivery class is nothing but what kind of table this table is going to be, whether this table is going to hold the application data, right, or whether it's going to hold the customizing, whether it is a customizing table, right, maintenance only by customer, not SAP import, table for storing temporary data, it will be delivered empty, customizing table protected against SAP updates, control table, SAP and customer have separate key areas, system table maintained only by SAP, change equal to modification, system table contains transportable via separate TR object. So all of these are the different kinds of table, but whenever we are creating a custom table, it will always be the first option, that is the application table, and it is for the master and transaction data purposes. So,
so if we select that, then we'll not be able to transport that one?
We can transport.
But last option W, system table contains transportable via separate TR objects.
Actually, this is the system table contents transportable via separate TR objects. So we don't go with this option. Why? Because see, the reason why we are creating a custom table is like we want to we may take some standard fields and some custom fields, or we may take only custom fields, right? Or later let's say like after 2-3 months the client want to add more fields to that already existing, to the already created custom table. So in all these scenarios, you know, whatever the table we are creating, it has to allow us to do all these things. Otherwise, it's of no use for us. So all the other tables are having so many restrictions. So all the other types of tables are having so many restrictions. So we won't be able to use them efficiently. After a few days, like we won't be able to make changes. Or we may not be able to add new fields if required, or we may not be able to delete some fields that are already there. So all of these are, you know, so many restrictions will be there for all the other types of tables. So only the first option, that is the application table, and we can use it for master data or the transaction data. So do you know what is master data and transaction data?
Yeah. So whenever you're doing a transaction, master data is the one like which less frequently changed, and like so all the customer details, material details, and those kind of things like so are stored as a master data. And transaction data is business transactions, like so sales orders, creating a sales orders, and the delivery documents, and so those things. You can transactional.
Exactly. Simple example is like your you know, like a PR number, your social security number, your driving license, your passport number. Those details come under the master data, whereas under the transaction data we can say like your monthly bank account statement, that can be treated as the transaction data. Your credit card details, you know, your credit card transactions, so they can be treated as the transaction data, because they'll be keep on changing every month. So so let's go ahead and let's try to select the first option, that is for the you know, application table, A for application table. And here if you select data browser, table view maintenance, here you have 3 options here: display maintenance allowed with restrictions, display maintenance allowed, display maintenance not allowed. So whenever we are creating a table, like we have discussed before, we don't like the word restrictions. So we want freedom whenever we create a table. So let's go with the second option here, display maintenance allowed, right? So we need to be, we should be able to do whatever we want with our table. Whatever changes we need to, we want to make, it should allow us to make the changes, right? So display maintenance allowed. So go ahead and try to, there is the save button here. Go ahead and try to save our table. So it will ask for the package name here. So let's go ahead and let's try to give our package name. Suppose if it is a FI related object, you will be storing it under the FI module, right? Like that. So go ahead and try to save it. So let's go with it's suggesting the previously created workbench request number. Okay, let me tell me something. Okay, what happens if we store all our objects under the same workbench request number?
So all those objects will be comes under the same package, like so. So generally, like so, we tend to create as a. It depends. Like so, logically, you will be dividing them and then creating a separate transport. Like all the tables and table maintenance, and put it under one transport kind of a thing, and rest of the codes or reports or something like that you created under different transport, workbench request and configuration or something like that.
See, if we store all of them under the same workbench request number, one thing happens is like when we want to move from development to quality and from quality to production, so all the objects will be moved. So generally we don't do that, right? So depending upon our, depending upon the need, depending upon the necessity, we'll be moving them one by one. So that is the other reason why we have to store them under the different workbench request types.
Yeah, for testing purpose. Yeah, otherwise, like, so rest of the objects also will be moving into the quality of the production. The ones
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly,
yeah.
exactly, and we don't want to do that.
We don't want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our custom table.
Yeah.
Oh, custom spelling wrong.
That's right.
So let's go ahead and continue here. So there is one more thing called technical settings. So this is also, go ahead and try to select this technical settings tab here. So whenever we create a table, we also have to maintain some technical settings for that particular table. And this is also a frequently asked interview point of view question. What are the technical settings you are going to maintain for a table? So under the technical settings, we have two things. One is the data class. So data class is like what kind of data we are going to store in this table, whether we are going to have master data or transaction data. So the functional consultants, they will mention what kind of data, data they want to maintain in this particular table. If they say master data, we select the first option. If they say transaction data, we select the second option. So we have some more options here, or the third one is organization and customizing dimension tables in BW, facts table in BW, or ODS tables in BW. So those are the options that are selected by the BW team, right? So as a technical person, as an ABAP, whenever we create, whenever we are maintaining technical settings for our table, we always either go with the first option or the
second option. Okay.
Second option, depending upon the type of the data we want to make. Let's assume that we want to master data in this table. And size category. So how much of size do we want to allocate for this particular table? And the size categories range from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 0 being minimum and 5 being the max. Let's say, for example, if we give some size category 0, it will allocate some, let's say, some 1000 KB of memory. For 1, it will allocate some 10,000 KB of memory. So like that, by default, it will allocate some memory. So in ABAP, we always try to go with smaller amounts of size allocation. Why? Because our SAP GUI is really smart. So what happens? Like, let's say we have allocated some 1000 KB of memory. Once that 1000 KB is used up, automatically it will extend another 1000 KB. So the second 1000 KB. So once that is used up, automatically it will allocate the third 1000 KB. So like that, it keep on allocating. So that is the reason we don't want to, at the first place itself, we don't want to go with larger amounts of memory allocation. We don't want to do that. So generally in projects also, we either go with size 0 or size 1.
Okay.
So let's go with size 0. So these are the two things, technical settings we have to maintain for any table whenever we are creating a custom table. Data class and the size category, and under the data class, we mention what kind of data we are going to maintain in this particular table, and under the size category, how much of memory do we want to allocate for this particular table. So these are the technical settings we have to maintain. So go ahead and try to save it. So let's go back.
Hello?
Sure.
Yeah, so I lost your voice. Yeah, now you're back. Yeah.
Yes.
Hello? Yeah.
Ashok, are you able to hear me?
Yes. I am able to hear.
Okay. So again, when whatever the fields they want us to maintain, we can go ahead and we can maintain. Suppose if they say like they want to maintain some standard fields, then we can go ahead and we can maintain the standard fields and their related standard data elements. So mandate is the client number. So Kunar is the customer number, and this is also the main key or the primary key. Kunnar is customer number. So name one is the name of the customer, and its related data element is also name one, and ORT01 is city of the customer, and its related data element is also ORT01, and land one is the country key of the customer, and its related data element is also land one. So we most of the time, if the standard fields and their standard data elements suit our purpose,
Sorry, there. Hello?
Can go ahead and we can use them as it is.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, they want to create one custom field, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is it breaking?
Yeah, now it is fine. Sometimes it is breaking up. That's fine. Yeah, now it is fine. Yeah.
Okay. So let's say, for example, they want us to create some new field called new 5. Let's say, for example. So if we are using the standard data element, then we don't have to worry about their type of the data, their length of the data, and short description of the data, because these are already predefined. Yeah. So automatically they will be popped up here. Yeah. If we are using the standard data element. But if we are using a custom data element, then we have to create the we have to create the custom data element also. So Z new 5 is our custom data element name, right? And whenever we are creating the custom data elements, again we have to follow the naming standards. They have to start either with a Y or a Z. That is the naming convention we have to follow. So go ahead and try to double click on this custom data element. So it says zcust77 was changed. That is our table name. Save before exiting editing. Yeah, save it.
Yeah.
So data element Z new 5 not available. Do you want to create the data element? Yes, we want to create the custom data element now. So this is our new field, new custom field, and we can give the same name as our data element name. In most of the projects, they have this, they follow this convention. Whatever the data Z, whatever the custom data element they are using, they want us to use the same custom domain name, right? So Z new 5 is our custom data element domain name also. So double click on the domain name. So yes, save before exiting editing under this particular package. So this is our custom table. So in our custom table, we are creating this custom field. So that's why we have to refer to the same workbench request number, right? Because all of these are together. Our custom table, our custom field, our custom domain, custom data element, all of these are together, right? So that is the reason we have to go with the same workbench request number.
Yeah.
So create the domain, yes. So this is our custom domain. So type of the data, if you go ahead and if you open this drop down menu, whatever the type of the data the functional consultant want, we can go ahead and we can mention we can select that particular custom data type, right? If the consultant says they want to have character type of data, character, if they want to have decimals, right? So we can go with these kinds of decimals here. And if they want to go with the integer type of data int one, and then if they want to go with the numeric type of values, NUMC, if they want to go with the string type of field, string, right, for time related TIMS. So all these, whatever the type of the data they want to have, we can go ahead and we can select that.
Yeah. Hello.
Data type here.
Okay.
So those are of the data. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello, Ashok. Do you have this?
Vidya, sorry. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. Do you have Skype account? I can call you in Skype if
yeah, now
meeting is having a problem.
Yeah, now it is better. Now it is better, Vidya.
Okay.
Yeah.
And number of characters, whatever is the length they want to have, that length we can give. Suppose if they want to have some 10 characters long, we can give just 10 characters long. So this type of the data and length of the data, whatever the functional consultant mentions, we will just go ahead and we can give that type, right?
Okay.
So it is in the new revised state. So we have to activate them. So go ahead and try to activate. This is the activate button. Activate the domain. So all of this comes under our custom table only. So here if you observe, so this is our custom table and this is our domain and this is our custom data element. So we are selecting all of them together and continue. We are trying to activate all of them.
So generally, will it take some time?
Yeah, generally, it will take a couple of seconds here. I think the server is also a little bit slow.
So when we are trying to activate, will it create the actual database tables or how is it?
Yeah, it creates a database table and it's it is stored physically in the database. And whenever we want to look at this table, we can see, we can see the table. And if you want to store some data in it also, we can store data in this particular custom table.
Okay.
So there is another concept called imaginary tables. So we will come up with that concept later on in our classes. So this is called this actually creates a table in the database.
Okay. So imaginary tables, are those the transparent tables or is it something different?
Imaginary tables, they are not considered. They are called the internal tables. They are called the internal tables, and they are imaginary tables, and they are not stored physically in the database, and they are created temporarily. and we can store data in them temporarily. We can process the data, and we can pass that data to the program. In the program, we can use that data in the program. And once we are out of that particular program, then we won't be able to display that internal table or the imaginary table.
Okay, just for the processing purpose, like so you'll pull the data and then just process it out and then vanish at the end of the process. Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So that is the reason they are called as the temporary tables or the imaginary tables.
Okay.
Only they are created during the runtime of the program.
Okay.
And once we are out of the program, the internal tables do not exist anymore.
Okay.
But whereas these tables are not like that, right?
Yeah, these are the physical.
So warnings occur. These are the physical tables. Yeah. So it says warnings occurred. So if something is showing in yellow color like this, then we are fine. But if something is showing in red color, that means we are in trouble, right?
Okay.
So as long as here it is showing that enhancement category for table is missing. So we can, that is not a mandatory thing. Here I will show you what to do for that. So here there is this tab called extras and then enhancement category. So it says enhancement category has not been selected for this particular table. Continue. So we can select the category as can be enhanced deep. That means it can be enhanced character or numeric or that means this particular table is ready for all different kinds of enhancements. That's what we are mentioning here. Okay. So even if we don't mention this also, it's not a problem. This is not a mandatory thing that we have to do, right? So copy here. Right?
So what does it mean?
Because we have.
Sorry, Divya. So the enhancement means like later on to add on the new fields or something like that, or?
Yes, it means later on, like we can add some new fields, or we can change the existing data elements of the fields, all those things. But even if we don't, define this enhancement category, also it will allow us, because all that flexibility is already there in this custom tables.
Okay.
So that is an optional thing. Okay. So let's go. It is in inactive state here. So go ahead and try to activate our table. So continue. So now our table is in active state. So this is how we can create a custom table. And if you observe, for all these standard data elements, automatically the type of the data, length of the data, and description has been popped up automatically. And for the custom field, whatever the value, whatever the type of the data, length of the data, and the descriptions we have provided, it has taken those, right? So this is how, depending upon the client requirement, if the standard fields suit the requirement, we can go ahead and we can use the standard fields. But if the standard fields doesn't suit the client requirement, then in that case, we will have to create the custom fields and custom data elements. So in tomorrow's class, we will see how to maintain data in this table. And there is another concept called table maintenance generator. So we generally create a table maintenance generator for easy maintenance of the table. So in tomorrow's class, we will see how to create the table maintenance generator for this particular table. Right?
Sure. So same time, right, Vidya?
Yes. Tomorrow also same time, my time 4 p.m.
4 p.m.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Thanks, Vidya. See you tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah. Any other concerns?
No, like I'll log in and then I'll also practice straight away.
Yes, yes. So please refer to this to your package, right? This table will be stored in your package.
Yeah. I'll create different package as well, and maybe I'll not mess up with this one, like, so that like you can have a flow and then I'll have a parallel flow. Yeah.
Okay, sure. You can have this as the reference, and you can have your own package as the practice.
Parallel flow. Yeah. So yeah. Exactly. Thanks, Vidya.
Okay, Ashok. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Yeah. Cheers.
Okay. Bye.